Once again, folks, item J343 is the Surfing Monkey Coin Bank. It's great for graduations, wedding gifts, and I believe we sold out on this one last time, so please do not let this one pass you by. Now let's go to caller Scott in Nashville.
Hello.
Now, Scott, I understand you just bought 15 of our Surfing Monkey Banks. Is that true?
Yeah. Chill, man. I'm on TV.
Now, what's wrong with you? Tonsillitis?
Appendicitis.
Yeah! Nobody's died of tonsillitis around here for a while.
Appendicitis.
Nothing to worry about. Scalpel?
What if the joint were in somebody else's hand, like your surgeon, your lawyer, or your local policeman? Would you still say marijuana is harmless?
No. Let's see if I can still make a straight line.
Public service announcements like those were shown in the 1980s and 1990s to show the dangers of marijuana. It's unknown how effective they were, but it is known that, as reported by the General Social Survey, that in both 1985 and 1995, only 21% of the American population thought marijuana should be legal. Obviously, this has changed, as marijuana is currently legalized for recreational use in 8 states, as reported by CBS News. 61% of Americans believe that marijuana should be made legal. As a show of hands, how many people do think here that marijuana should be legal? Don't be shy. And unfortunately, federal law disagrees with you. The DEA still classifies marijuana as a Class 1 drug, or Schedule 1 drug, which they describe as drugs with currently no accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. To put this in perspective, heroin is also a Schedule 1 drug, and cocaine and methamphetamine are classified as Schedule 2 drugs. Of course, the fact that these drugs are illegal will most likely get you sent to jail or prison. In fact, drug offenses are made up of a large amount of the prison population, so much so that the prisons become to be overpopulated. As far as statistics for prison overpopulation goes, it was reported by the Prison Policy Initiative in March 2017 that there are about 2.3 million people in some type of correctional facility in the United States. To break this down, there are about 630,000 people convicted in local jails, 197,000 people in federal prisons, and a substantial 1,330,000 people in state prisons. To break this down even further, there are about 200,000 people in for drug charges in local jails, 197,000 people in for drug charges in federal prisons, and 208,000 people in state prisons for drug charges. In fact, the Prison Policy Initiative goes on to say that these statistics that 1 in 5 people in the United States are incarcerated for drug charges. But that's just the United States. Let's look at the Philippines, which has the example of one of the worst overpopulated prisons, the Quezon City Jail. In an article by Ewan McCurdy, he wrote that the jail, originally built to house 300 inmates, now holds over 4,000 prisoners. This overcrowding can be attributed to the drug policy of Rodrigo Duterte, which is often regarded as brutal and an out-of-control system. As more and more prisons are populated over their intended maximum capacities, more problems arise. It has been found that an increased prison population can affect prison management, which has been found to be related to prisoner misconduct. In 2002, the Department of Justice found that overcrowding affects inmate dynamics. In Japan, it was found that the prison population density has a direct correlation with prison violence. Going back to the example of the Quezon City Jail in the Philippines, the conditions are so packed and overcrowded that one room, which was originally designed for 30 people to be held, holds 131 people. About 61% of the people held in the Quezon City Jail are in for drug charges. Looking in further in depth to the statistics of drug incarceration, we have to look at the drug that people are arrested for the most, marijuana. And it was reported that in 2015 there were 547,000 arrests for marijuana in the United States alone. When compared to the 505 681,000 people that were arrested for violent crimes in 2015, it's obvious to see that either A, there's a large marijuana problem in the United States, or B, the marijuana laws need to be reevaluated. The solution? Legalize marijuana so it can be taxed and regulated for recreational use. This happened in some places in the United States already, and even the world, to great effect. Marijuana legalization has been found to be a positive impact on the places where it has happened. In Colorado and Washington, which are the most prominently mentioned states when talking about legalization, it was found that the legalization of marijuana decreased the amount of marijuana arrests and crimes, with the number of charges for marijuana having decreased by an astounding 98% between the years of 2012 and 2013. Because of this sharp decrease in arrests, police resources have been freed up, allowing them to focus more on violent crimes and save literally millions of dollars. On the topic of money, legalization in these states have managed to increase tax revenue in the states that have legalized it. In Colorado, for example, the state earned $1.3 billion in revenue from marijuana sales, and as a result, helped earn the state $200 million in tax revenue. Similarly, in Washington, the total amount earned from legal marijuana sales surpassed $1 billion in 2016. For the topic of prison overpopulation, the Bureau of Justice suggested that legalization of marijuana would lead to a decrease in the prison population. In conclusion, the legalization of marijuana would not only help in increasing the tax revenue, decrease crime and arrest rates, and help the growing problem of prison population. Thank you.